In this video, I'm going to break down the most watched and copied VSL in the entire affiliate and performance marketing industry. It's the one VSL that set the market standard. My name is Alex Mikol and I'm known to be a badass affiliate since many years, generating over $70 million in commissions alone with VSLs. And you probably already watched it or seen the guy, or maybe some friends told you about it. Some people even made courses about this VSL. But today, I'm going to give you the behind the scenes, the dashboards, the structure, all the testing procedures and all the secrets on how to keep these VSLs alive for so long. Because turns out, I was actually the guy behind it. And I know I've never said this before, but that's because I like my privacy. So I decided to stop being so selfish and actually reveal everything there is about this VSL. So first things first, here is one of the dashboards of my YouTube channel, so you can see all the views. And here's another dashboard of our YouTube ad spend, so you can actually see that we were the guys behind this campaign. Now you know I walk the walk. And we've been running the same VSL for years. And guys, this wasn't a one-hit wonder. It's a repeatable system. And that's exactly what I teach in Scalers Pro, where we work with anyone in affiliate, e-com, info, SaaS, and more, because we help them scale their businesses with VSLs and with affiliate marketing. But we don't work with people who don't have at least $10,000 in budget to test these strategies, or who's not ready to dive in deep, or if you run anything black hat. We don't want to know anything about that world. So if you're a fit and you're serious about scaling your business with VSLs and affiliate marketing, I actually made a video about it, a full-on guide that I'm gonna leave in the description below, so you can go watch this after. So before getting in all the technicalities on how to replicate this winning VSL structure, you probably wonder, how did they even discover this product? How did they get to work with this amazing brand? Well, we need to go back a few years, because I actually had a friend and partner that was already running this offer on Taboola. And this company never even cracked Google before, or YouTube. We started running GDN ads before even touching YouTube. So at some point I got this crazy idea, which is actually very simple. Why creating all this friction? Why don't we actually leverage YouTube inside Google and start running the VSL as a main ad? Yes, a 40-50 minute long VSL as an ad. No one has ever done that before, because everyone thinks that we need to have complicated funnels and overcomplicate stuff, but that made all the difference. So ever since we started running long VSLs on Meta, back then Facebook, and on YouTube. And that made all the difference. Because then what's the user flow now? We just go from watching a long video ad straight to the offer selector page and the checkout, and that's it. We don't have to create complicated funnels. And that's exactly how we went from $1,000 a day in ad spend to $140,000 to $150,000 in ad spend, something like that in like 9-10 days. Nuts. And I'm gonna tell you later in this video how we were actually able to stay cash flow positive. But now let's start with the actual hook that grabbed the entire attention. So for that, I'm gonna actually open my dashboard right here. Okay, so this was the very first hook that we had for our VSL. So actually very boring, but the fact that it would go straight into the VSL and keep users for so long made all the difference. I say, do I have a gut feeling that something is wrong? And it makes you think. Then we proceeded on making hyper clear what's the big problem that we're gonna resolve in this video that resonates with all the viewers.
So I used to be 70 pounds overweight, and I was running 30 miles a week. I was doing half marathons on the weekend. I was going to the gym 1 hour every day and eating a healthy, low-fat vegetarian diet. And no matter what I did, I couldn't lose weight.
Then Dr. Gundry discovered a remarkable scientific breakthrough that changed everything.
I attribute almost all of my weight loss to the addition of one thing that I did to my diet.
Which in our case is resolving the big weight loss mystery by focusing on our gut health. This allowed us to do two things. One is to actually sell a weight loss product that isn't very friendly for the policies of the platforms by masking it as a gut health product, which actually is a gut health product. And it's exactly this product right here. And two, it gave us many more angles, because we're not just focusing the entire VSL on your weight loss, but actually many other things that our product actually helps with.
I've discovered some shocking things about the human body. Things that hold the key to helping you feel smarter, drop unwanted fat, enjoy easier digestion, have better looking skin, control cravings for fattening foods, more energy without caffeine, live longer, and feel decades younger than you actually are.
So if our products helps with many more things, we can actually be way more creative with our hooks in the entire structure of the video sales letter, because we can tap in all the different pain points of our viewers and actually connect with them even deeper. Because let's say you don't care about losing weight, but you have low energy levels, you have skin rashes because your gut leaks and all the bacteria come through in your body and you start developing intolerances, or you have poor gut health, which affects negatively all your energy levels. And that's a big thing when you start turning 35 to 40. A lot of you watching this don't even realize that these are actually issues, but our target audience is 40 plus. And in the VSL, we only place the call to actions at the second part of the video. So not in the first 10 or 15 minutes. We actually didn't even mention that we're selling a product. That's the whole structure here. We're just educating the user. So we don't want to make people feel like they're watching an ad. We want to make them feel like they're watching a valuable piece of content where they can get value out of it. Doesn't matter if they end up buying the product or not. And give you interesting facts like,
this is a tomato. Think it's good for you? Think again.
Because the skin of the tomatoes, as Dr. Gundry says, is super rich in lectins. And lectins are the enemy of your gut. Because it actually, if we want to represent it visually, it's going to scratch the inside of your gut. And that's going to create leaks in your gut. And Dr. Gundry calls it the leaky gut. It's a well-known fact nowadays. So we tell you which foods you shouldn't be eating, and we blow your mind in many cases.
And I'm here today to blow your mind.
As another example, you can't eat cashew nuts. You're like, oh wait, but I love cashew nuts. When I go to Thailand, I have cashew nuts in my nice pad thai. Or cashew nuts are such a used product in the US. So that's how we get the attention. That's how we actually instruct you that certain foods that you believe that are good aren't good for your health. So we go very deep in education. Like we actually educate people in our VSLs. We don't even sell at first. We only sell again at the very end. And the call to actions are very simple. Buy now, this is the price only available for you if you watch this video, all the yada yada that we can do in marketing. But it's only effective if we did a very good job before. And this is exactly why this specific structure worked so well, and it's a repeatable system. So now let me actually show you for the first time ever our internal report of how the scale went with this VSL. So we were testing up and down. We had like some green days, then some red days. We were adjusting with bidding, all the technical stuff that we're not gonna go over this in this video. But what actually moves the needle forward is not gonna be your campaign structure. It's actually gonna be your VSL. So how good your ad is. So we went up and down, but then here it goes. Like one day we went from $1.5 thousand and then boom, we just started triplicating budgets almost right away, ending up at like $112,000 in ad spend after 9 days with 53% ROI. It's one of those moments where you think like, why haven't I done this before? And then, we thought like, that's it, it's gonna die off. In fact, it started dying off after some time, but you can see like these 100K days just like going and going and going. But you see, it's actually not that easy to keep a VSL running for so long. How did we maintain the profitability at this scale? And this brings me exactly to the hook refreshing strategy. So I'm gonna show you actual data of this VSL. So it did do something like 21 million views, but we did re-upload the same VSL over and over again. So we all know the hook is important, right? Because if you don't grab the user attention in the very first seconds, then it doesn't matter how good your VSL is, no one is gonna care because they're not gonna get to watch it. Because they're gonna be ready to skip your ad right away. Either they're scrolling on Facebook and they just see the first 2 seconds and then they continue scrolling, or they're on YouTube and they're gonna be ready to skip ad and just get to the video that they actually intended to watch in the first place. So in fact, if we look at the retention graph over here, we can see that at the very beginning, obviously, we have 100% of the viewers because they can't skip. But as you can see, it just skyfalls right away. So after 1 minute, you only have 22% of the viewers still, but it's still okay. And then it just flattens out and actually like only 1% goes until the end, or 2%. So what does this teach us? The hook is the most important part, but not only that, people that skip didn't even get to see what's after, which is a big leverage, which means we can still offer them the same VSL if we do a better job at the very beginning. Because maybe one hook will attract certain type of audience, but another hook might interest another type of audience. So that's when our journey starts. When we saw the performance dropping for the very first time, we didn't panic. We were like, okay, wait, yes, the video got 20 million views, but 20 million people only saw the first 5 seconds. Only like 5 million people got to watch after minute 1. So there's still a lot of room. We have so many more people that we can actually get through the door and watch the rest of the VSL. So then we came up with another hook, and it's another very simple thing. We tested a bunch, and over time we became better and better at making hooks because that was the only point of focus for us to keep this VSL alive. So what we did was just replacing the first 5 seconds.
This is a tomato. Think it's good for you? Think again.
One simple trick to controlling your weight.
And from there on, the entire VSL is the exact same. And this little change allowed us to do another 57 million views on paid ads. And I promise you, we spent on this VSL alone something like $16 million in ad spend. And then we just kept doing it again and again and working with the amazing creative team that we have the blessings to work with to educate them on how to come up with better hooks. And then, you know, it's hard to continue making the same hooks if you have the same beginning of the video. So what we started doing is what we internally call pre-rolls or like different intros, which is we start changing the first minute, but never the rest of the video. Because again, if we take back the retention graph, that's what has the majority of impact, because not everyone gets to minute 10 anyways. So our entire focus went on the first 5 seconds and then the first minute. If we change the first minute and let's say we talk about a different angle, then we can come up with endless new hooks. And that's all we did. We just kept refreshing the first 5 seconds and then the first minute and nothing else. So the competitor response was that everyone started doing the same. And it's impressive how many times I saw the same type of open loops that we use in our own VSLs, like, oh, this is the one thing that changed everything. I saw it across so many industries. Like you could tell that people copied this VSL. Why? Because it just started popping off everywhere. Like there was no such campaign that lasted for so long at this scale. So how do we stay ahead of the competition? Well, while everyone copied, we just were focused on making the best VSLs possible. So we just kept looking at our own data, thinking what grabs user attention, and just start playing with it without even looking at what the competition is doing. Because if we look at what the competition is doing, we're probably already one step behind, because creator will always beat the copycat. So our mindset was just like, let's ignore the noise. Let's just focus on what we think is the best possible work and just keep doing it again and again and again. At some point, it became so repetitive, I started being annoyed because I tested hundreds of hooks. I was just like saturated. But that's a result of you dominating the one skill that's gonna allow you to continuously print money. And that's exactly what I want to teach you with all of these videos that we do. So when is actually time for you to come up with a new variation? Well, that's something I see that a lot of people make as a mistake. You know, they have one winning VSL, they test a bunch of folks, they can't replicate their success, and they think it's game over. The truth is, you still have so much money left on the table that you want to capitalize on. So the way I do it, I don't even wait for a performance drop to happen. I just continue with the hook production. Because I don't care if it goes up or down. What I care about is that I need to consistently put in the work to stay ahead of everyone and just continuing making money. So a lot of people just wait until it dies off and then they're like, oh, I need to come back from holiday and now I need to start working on things. Well, that's probably too late because you're gonna lose a lot of momentum, and momentum is everything. When is the right time? The right time is just to continue doing it. And guess what? If you just continue doing it, you will never stack up a lot of work because you just continuously put those few hours a week to create new hooks and continue enjoying high scale. That's exactly how, by the way, once I cracked this VSL game, I literally stopped working. I closed down my e-com business because I was like, affiliate is cranking so much that 10% of my time goes into VSL and affiliate marketing. It makes 95% of my profits. Why would I invest 90% of my time on continuing doing my e-com? That's exactly when I switched back to just affiliate, and I literally started skydiving and traveling the world and never worked more than an hour a day, not lying. Like, this is exactly how it went. Another common mistake that people make is never improving the VSL. You know, how do you get to this stage? Well, yes, it sounded all nice and fun because I didn't show you all the back end of what went into actually producing a VSL. That's exactly why I separated and I made a different video about it, and you can find the link in the description. But we continuously improve the retention. We saw where the drop downs were. We iterated the first minute a lot of times to actually hook them, because actually the hardest part is at the very beginning. Because if you have a okay script even afterwards and you already suck people in, then you're gonna do good already. The only thing that was happening in the back end was actually different upsell strategies at the very end of the VSL or after they completed with the first purchase. So the upsell pages right away to upsell them the same product in different quantities. You bought 1 bottle. Okay, what about 6? What about 3? What about 1? And every time we generated a sale in the back end, it would just bring us more revenue to actually have higher marketing margins in the front end, and that allowed us to actually spend more money. So if you're in e-com and you wanna improve your margins, you should free yourself to actually get to work on the back end and let affiliates run the business and give them the incentives to build these VSLs. But again, this is another topic and you can actually find it in this video right here. So I invite you to continue watching and learning the affiliate and VSL game. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.